Hey guys, and welcome to AppleiPadTV. Today we have the review of the Speck CandyShell for iPad. Now we would like to thank GearZap.com for sending this product for review. The iPad CandyShell retails for £30 at GearZap.com, or alternatively you can find it at SpeckProducts.com for $50. So when the iPad was released, everyone was anticipating an iPad CandyShell after huge success with the iPhone and iPad Touch versions of the award-winning case. Essentially, it's just a larger version of the iPhone and iPad Touch models, but with a few differences. This case is referred to as a hybrid case, and the CandyShell name comes from the fact the case has a glossy plastic exterior and a soft silicone interior. Now the CandyShell is available in 3 different colour combinations: Batwing Black, which is the version we have here, and there is also Nightshade Purple and Go-Go White. So the glossy plastic finish looks great when you first get it, but you will notice that it attracts a lot of fingerprints. The back of the case also scratches and scuffs very easily, as you can see, and if you think this is going to be a problem for you, you may want to avoid this case. The inside of the case is rubberized and has this very unique honeycomb perforated design. Now Speck chose to do this for 2 reasons. First of all, it adds decoration and provides the case with a nice design, but secondly, the holes actually reduce the weight of the case. Installing the CandyShell on the iPad is simple. All we do is place the device button side first into the case and then begin to push the iPad gently inside the case. And there we go. The case adds a few millimeters to the device, but when you hold it in your hand, it actually feels like a naked iPad. On the other hand, the CandyShell adds enough bulk to provide your iPad with a good amount of drop protection. Another cool thing is that there is a rubberized lip that covers the entire front face, and this means that you can place the iPad face down on a surface and the screen will be protected. At the top we have a cutout for the 3.5mm headphone jack, although we did experience some issues with larger headphone jacks, so that's something to bear in mind. The microphone cutout is disappointing as the case covers half of the microphone itself. The sleep wake button is covered by this rubberized layer, but the button still remains very tactile. Coming around to the right, we have good access to the orientation lock, and again we have the volume rockers covered by the silicone. The speakers have this perforated cutout which matches the interior of the case, and finally we have the 30-pin dock, which is actually covered by this flap. Now the reason for the flap is that it allows us to dock the iPad without removing the case. Now this is a very helpful feature if you have the keyboard dock or any other type of dock, but if you don't, it can be quite annoying. First of all, the flap can get in the way sometimes, and secondly, there is no actual cutout itself on the flap, so if you want to simply attach the sync charge cable, you have to physically remove the flap and access the dock like so. So it would be great to see an actual pass-through on the panel itself. One problem that was experienced by iPhone and iPad Touch CandyShell users was the difficult removal of the case. Speck seem to have addressed this issue in their iPad CandyShell, as the case is very easy to remove. All we do is remove the bottom panel like so and begin to pull the iPad out of the case, applying a relatively good amount of force, and then we can simply pull the iPad out of the CandyShell. Overall, we can safely say that the iPad CandyShell has lived up to our expectations, and it has everything a great case needs. It's stylish, it protects the iPad well, with the added bonus of being dockable. The biggest downside is probably the scratch prone back, but obviously you would rather have the scratches on the case rather than the actual iPad. In the future, we would like to see a screen shield included with the case and possibly more colours introduced. So if you want to protect the iPad in style, the Speck CandyShell should definitely be considered. So we hope you enjoyed this review. Remember, you can pick this case up at GearZap.com for £30. And please stay tuned to AppleiPadTV for more iPad content.